The evening sun was slowly sinking behind the old buildings. The streets of the poor neighborhood were filled with noise, cars honking, children running, shopkeepers shouting to sell their last goods. Among this noise stood a thin black boy, no more than 12 years old. His clothes were torn, his shoes had holes, but his eyes were full of fire. He was not begging for money. He was not selling anything. He was dancing. The cracked pavement was his stage. The passing people were his audience. His body moved to a rhythm only he could hear. He jumped, spun, and tapped his broken shoes against the ground. Some laughed at him, some ignored him, but still, he kept dancing. Because dancing was not just a hobby for him, it was his escape, his only dream, his only hope. The boy's name was Malik. He had grown up in the poorest part of the city. His mother worked day and night to clean other people's houses. His father was gone, and nobody spoke about him anymore. Malik had nothing, but when he danced, he felt like he had the whole world. Every evening, after finishing small chores, Malik would come to this corner and dance. Sometimes people threw coins into a small tin box he placed on the ground. Sometimes people walked past as if he was invisible. But Malik never stopped. Even when his stomach was empty, even when his legs hurt, he kept moving. Because deep inside, he believed maybe one day, someone important would notice him. And that day was closer than he could ever imagine. A shiny black car rolled into the street. It was not a normal car. Its windows were dark, its paint shining like glass, its wheels smoother than anything people in the neighborhood had seen before. People stopped and stared. Everyone knew this was not a car for ordinary men. The car slowed down, right near the spot where Malik was dancing. For a moment, he thought maybe the driver was lost. He kept moving, spinning with tired but determined energy. Then, the back window of the car slid down, softly, slowly. Behind the glass sat a young girl, maybe the same age as Malik. Her skin was pale, her hair tied neatly, her clothes clean and beautiful. She was the kind of girl who had never walked through this broken street before. But her eyes were sad, almost empty, like she was carrying a secret pain. She stared at Malik as if the world had frozen. Malik noticed her. His heart beat faster. He thought maybe she was laughing at him, like many others did. But no. She wasn't laughing. She was watching with full attention. She was clapping her hands softly, following the beat of his dance. For the first time in his life, Malik felt like someone truly saw him. The driver looked uncomfortable. "Miss, we should go. This is not a safe place." But the girl didn't move her eyes from Malik. She whispered, almost to herself, "He dances like he carries the whole world inside him." Malik pushed harder, giving every ounce of energy into his dance. His feet struck the ground with rhythm, his arms cut the air with grace. He spun so fast that his old shirt lifted with the wind. The small crowd around him grew silent. Even the people who usually ignored him were now watching. The car engine was still running, but the girl didn't let the driver move. She leaned closer to the window, her face glowing with something Malik couldn't understand. Was it joy, was it sadness, or was it both? And then, something unexpected happened. The girl reached into her small handbag and pulled out a folded piece of paper. She opened the window wider and dropped it onto Malik's tin box. It wasn't money. It wasn't coins. It was something else. Malik stopped, confused. He bent down and picked up the paper with shaky hands. The girl's car began to move away, but her eyes stayed locked on him until the vehicle turned the corner and disappeared. Malik quickly opened the paper. Inside, in neat handwriting, were just a few words. "Don't stop dancing. One day the world will see you." He froze. His eyes filled with tears he didn't want anyone to see. Nobody had ever spoken to him like that. Nobody had ever believed in him. The people around didn't understand what had happened. They went back to their own lives, leaving Malik standing alone in the fading sunlight, holding the paper close to his chest. For Malik, this was not just a note. It was hope. It was a promise. It was the beginning of something he could not yet imagine. That night, as he walked home to his small, broken room, Malik kept reading the note again and again. He had no idea who the girl was. He had no idea why she cared. But he felt in his heart this was only the first step in a journey that would change both their lives forever. And in the distance, inside a mansion far away, the billionaire's daughter sat by her window, thinking of the boy she had seen. She had everything money could buy, yet her heart felt empty. But for the first time in years, she felt alive. Because a poor boy's dance had touched her soul. The next day, Malik returned to his street corner, the folded note hidden safely in his pocket. He had read it so many times the night before that he almost knew every curve of the letters by heart. Don't stop dancing. One day the world will see you. Those words burned inside him like fire. For the first time in his life, he believed he wasn't just dancing for coins, he was dancing for something bigger. He began moving, his tired legs shaking off the morning stiffness, his arms flowing with rhythm. His shoes still scraped against the pavement, but today he danced with more energy, more life, more power. His heart beat faster with every step. And then, he saw it again. The same shiny black car rolled slowly into the street. Malik froze for a second, his body caught between shock and excitement. The window slid down, and there she was, the girl from yesterday. Her eyes lit up when she saw him, and she clapped her hands with a smile. Malik couldn't help but smile back, even though he was shy. He kept dancing, but now his steps felt lighter, brighter, stronger, as if she had given him invisible wings. The driver looked annoyed. "Miss, it's not safe here. People will notice us." But the girl didn't care. She leaned out a little, her soft voice reaching Malik. "What's your name?" Malik almost stumbled. Nobody from her world had ever spoken to him before. He stopped for a moment, then whispered, "Malik." The girl smiled. "I'm Anna." It was a small exchange. Just two names. But to Malik, it felt like the world had shifted. From that day on, the black car appeared almost every evening. Sometimes it stayed only for a few minutes, sometimes longer. Every time, Anna watched Malik dance. She clapped, she laughed, sometimes she even hummed a tune softly, helping him keep rhythm. At first, Malik was nervous. He thought maybe she was only curious, maybe it was just a game for her. But with each passing day, he realized she wasn't laughing at him. She wasn't judging him. She was enjoying his dance, truly enjoying it. One evening, after he finished his routine, Anna opened her window and handed him a bottle of cold water. Malik hesitated, but she smiled gently. "You must be tired. Please take it." He took the bottle with shaky hands. His throat was dry, his body sweaty, and the cold water felt like a gift from heaven. "Thank you," he whispered. Anna nodded, her eyes soft. "You're really good, Malik. You shouldn't stop." Those words filled him with warmth. Nobody had ever said something so kind to him before. But while this strange friendship was growing, Malik's life at home was growing harder. His mother had been coughing for weeks. She worked less now because her body was weak. Medicine was expensive, far beyond what Malik could earn from coins. Some nights, they barely had food. Malik would often lie awake, staring at the note Anna had given him, trying to believe her words even when his stomach was empty. Anna noticed his tired eyes, his slow steps. She wanted to ask, but she didn't dare. She had her own problems too. Her mansion was huge, filled with servants and luxury, but her heart was lonely. Her parents were too busy with business and meetings to notice her. She had no true friends. Watching Malik dance was the only thing that made her feel alive. One evening, Anna dared to ask, "Why do you dance here every day?" Malik looked down at his torn shoes. "Because when I dance, I forget everything else. I forget hunger. I forget pain. For a little while, I feel free." Anna's eyes grew wet, but she quickly wiped them. She wanted to tell him about her own sadness, that even with all her wealth, she often felt trapped and invisible. But she stayed quiet. She only said, "Don't ever stop. You have something special." Malik nodded, though inside he wondered if her words were true. Could a poor boy with nothing really be special? And then, something happened that Malik would never forget. As he was finishing his dance one evening, a group of older boys came by. They laughed cruelly, throwing stones near his feet. "Look at this fool, dancing for nothing," one shouted. "Hey, maybe the rich girl will adopt you," another mocked. Malik froze, humiliated. His heart sank. He wanted to run, but then he heard Anna's voice from the car. "Don't listen to them, Malik. Keep dancing." Her voice was strong, filled with belief. Malik looked at her, saw the fire in her eyes, and suddenly, the laughter of the bullies didn't matter. He lifted his head, took a deep breath, and began to move again. His feet struck the ground with defiance, his arms cut through the air with courage. The bullies stopped laughing. They walked away, confused and silent. Anna clapped, her smile shining brighter than the evening sun. "See? You're stronger than them. You're stronger than you know." Malik's eyes filled with tears, but he quickly wiped them away. For the first time, he felt like he wasn't alone. That night, as Anna's car disappeared into the distance, Malik held his mother's hand at home and whispered to her, "One day, Mama, one day people will know my name." And far away, in her golden room, Anna sat by her window, whispering to herself, "One day, the world will see him. And I'll be there when it happens." Neither of them knew how much their worlds were about to change. Days turned into weeks, and Anna's car kept coming back to that same corner. For Malik, her visits became the brightest part of his life. He would wake up tired, worry about his sick mother, run small errands for neighbors to earn coins, but in the evening, when the sun dipped low, he rushed to his corner. Because he knew Anna would be there. And she always was. At first, their exchanges were small, just smiles, a few claps, a bottle of water. But slowly, something more began to grow. Malik started to wait for her questions. Anna started to look forward to his shy answers. It was as if the broken street and the shiny car created a secret bridge between their two worlds. One evening, Malik finished his dance and sat on the pavement to rest. Anna opened her window, her curious eyes watching him. "Do you ever get tired of dancing?" she asked softly. Malik shook his head. "I get tired of life sometimes. But when I dance, I forget." Anna leaned closer. "Forget what?" He looked down, twisting his hands nervously. "Forget hunger. Forget pain. Forget that my mother is sick and I can't help her." His voice cracked as he said the last words. He had never told anyone this, not even his closest neighbors. But something about Anna made him speak. Her face changed. She looked at him not with pity, but with genuine sadness. She wanted to say something, but her throat closed. She had never seen life like this before. Her problems were different: loneliness, pressure, expectations from her parents. She had never worried about food or medicine. Yet here was a boy her age, carrying burdens bigger than any child should carry. "Doesn't anyone help you?" she whispered. Malik laughed bitterly. "People don't help boys like me. They just look away." Anna's hands tightened on the window frame. "I'm not looking away." Her words hung in the air like a promise. From that night, Anna began to do more. Sometimes she brought him food hidden in small bags. Sometimes she gave him a clean shirt or shoes, pretending she had extra. Malik was grateful, but he also felt uneasy. He didn't want her to think he was weak. He didn't want her to see him as a charity case. One night, when she handed him bread, he shook his head. "I don't want your pity." Anna's eyes widened. "It's not pity, Malik. It's friendship." The word hit him hard. Friendship. Nobody from her world had ever used that word for him. He stayed quiet for a long time before whispering, "Thank you." But the truth was, Malik didn't fully understand who Anna really was. She never told him about her life. She never mentioned her mansion, her wealthy father, or the power her family had in the city. She came to him like a normal girl, wearing simple clothes inside her car, hiding the truth. Yet secrets don't stay hidden forever. One late afternoon, the sun was golden, and Malik was performing his best moves, spinning faster than ever. Anna clapped, laughing happily. But suddenly, another car stopped nearby. It was a big, shiny vehicle with flashing lights. Security men in suits stepped out quickly. "Miss Anna," one of them called urgently. Malik froze. His heart dropped. He looked at Anna in shock. "Miss Anna?" The men rushed forward, bowing slightly as they reached her. "Your father is asking for you. It's not safe here. Please, come immediately." The street fell silent. People who had been watching Malik's dance now stared at Anna. Whispers began spreading like fire. "Is that the billionaire's daughter?" "Yes. That's Mr. Harlan's girl." "What is she doing here?" Malik's chest tightened. He stared at Anna, searching her face for answers. She looked guilty, almost ashamed, as if she had been caught in a place she wasn't supposed to be. You're rich?" Malik whispered, his voice heavy with disbelief. Anna's eyes filled with tears. "Malik, I didn't want you to see me like that. I just wanted to be normal. With you." But Malik's heart twisted. Suddenly, all the moments came crashing back: the water, the food, the clothes. Were they kindness? Or were they pity from a rich girl who felt sorry for him? "You lied to me," he said, his voice breaking. "You hid who you are. People like you don't understand people like me." Anna shook her head desperately. "No, Malik. I didn't lie. I just wanted to be your friend. Not as a rich girl. Just as Anna." But Malik couldn't listen. His world felt shattered. He stepped back, pain flooding his eyes. "I don't need your pity. Go back to your world." The bodyguards opened the car door. Anna looked at Malik one last time, tears rolling down her cheeks. "I wasn't pitying you. I believed in you." Then the car door closed, and she was gone. Malik stood frozen in the empty street, his heart heavy, his chest burning. For the first time, dancing felt meaningless. He sat down on the pavement, holding his head in his hands. The note she had given him still rested in his pocket, but tonight, the words felt like lies. "Don't stop dancing. One day the world will see you." Malik whispered to himself bitterly, "Maybe the world doesn't want to see me after all." And in her mansion that night, Anna cried silently, staring out the window. She wanted to explain, but she didn't know how. For the first time, she was afraid she had lost the only real friend she had ever found. For days, Malik avoided the corner where he always danced. The street felt empty without his movements, without the small crowd that used to gather. But more than the silence, what hurt him most was the memory of Anna's tearful face. He told himself he didn't care. He told himself she had lied. But deep inside, his heart was torn. At night, he pulled out the small folded note from under his pillow. "Don't stop dancing. One day the world will see you." The words still carried power, yet now they also felt like a cruel joke. Was it really belief or just pity from a rich girl playing a game? Meanwhile, Anna sat in her golden bedroom, surrounded by everything money could buy: silk curtains, glowing chandeliers, expensive toys, clothes she never wore. But none of it mattered. The boy on the street mattered. The boy who had looked at her not as the billionaire's daughter, but as just Anna. Her father had found out about her visits. He was furious. "You will not go to that filthy part of the city again. Do you understand? It is dangerous. You are a Harlan, and a Harlan does not mix with people like them." Anna had cried, but she didn't argue. She knew she couldn't win against her father's iron rules. Still, her heart refused to let go of Malik. One evening, she slipped away with only one bodyguard, her face hidden under a simple scarf. The black car rolled quietly toward Malik's street again. She prayed he would be there. And he was. Malik had returned after days of absence, but his dance was different now. His steps were heavy, his energy low. The joy was gone. He moved like someone forcing himself to keep breathing. His mother's sickness had grown worse, and he had no money for her medicine. Every step he danced was a fight against despair. Anna's car stopped. She opened the window slowly. "Malik!" He froze when he heard her voice. His chest tightened, anger and longing mixing together. "Why are you here?" he asked sharply. "I had to see you," she whispered. "I had to explain." Malik looked away. "Explain what? That you're rich and I'm poor? That you gave me food because you pitied me? You should have told me the truth." Tears burned Anna's eyes. "It wasn't pity. I didn't tell you because I didn't want my name, my money, to stand between us. I just wanted to be Anna, your friend. Nothing else." Malik shook his head, pain flashing across his face. "But that's not possible. You live in a world I'll never reach. You have everything. I have nothing. You'll never understand what it feels like to be me." Anna's voice broke. "You're wrong. I may have money, but I don't have love. I don't have freedom. My parents don't see me, Malik. They only see a future business tool. With you, I finally felt seen." The street was quiet except for her trembling voice. Malik's heart softened for a moment, but his pride was strong. He couldn't shake the thought that he was just a charity case to her. "You should go back," he muttered. "Stay in your world. Leave me in mine." Anna reached into her bag and pulled out something, an envelope. She handed it to him through the window. "This isn't pity. This is a chance. Inside, there's a flyer. A dance competition in the city. The winner gets money, training, and a scholarship. Malik, you can do this. You can win." Malik stared at the envelope but didn't take it. His voice was bitter. "What makes you think someone like me could ever stand on a stage like that?" Anna's eyes shone with determination. "Because I've seen you. And when you dance, Malik, you are brighter than anyone I know. You just don't believe it yet." Her words cut through his anger like light through darkness. His chest tightened. He wanted to believe her, but fear whispered in his mind, what if he failed? What if the world laughed at him like the boys on the street did? He finally grabbed the envelope and shoved it into his pocket, though he didn't look at her. "Go home, Anna." Anna's tears fell silently as the car began to move. She pressed her hand against the glass, whispering, "I'll be there, Malik. I'll be cheering for you." When the car disappeared, Malik stood alone again, his body trembling. He pulled out the flyer from the envelope. The bold letters read, "City Dance Championship, open to all. Grand prize, scholarship plus $10,000. Malik's hands shook as he read the words. $10,000. Enough to buy his mother's medicine. Enough to change their lives. But doubt crushed him. Could a poor boy with no training, no costume, no shoes really stand on that stage? That night, Malik sat by his mother's bedside, holding her weak hand. She coughed softly, whispering, "Why do you look so worried, my son?" Malik forced a smile. I just want to make you proud one day, Mama." Her tired eyes met his. "You already do, Malik. Every time you dance, I see your fathering you. Don't ever stop." Her words echoed the ones Anna had written, "Don't stop dancing." Malik closed his eyes, tears rolling down his cheeks. He knew the decision was made. For his mother. For himself. For the girl who had believed in him. He would enter the competition. And nothing would ever be the same again. The day of the City Dance Championship arrived. For Malik, it felt like standing at the edge of a mountain, about to leap into the unknown. He had never been inside such a grand hall before. The stage was huge, the lights blinding, the audience filled with hundreds of strangers in clean clothes and bright eyes. Malik looked down at himself, worn shoes with patched laces, a shirt too big for his thin frame, and trembling hands. He felt out of place, like a shadow among stars. But then he remembered his mother's voice from the night before, "Every time you dance, I see your father in you. Don't ever stop." He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and stepped forward. Back in the audience, hidden under a hooded sweater, Anna sat quietly. Her heart pounded with fear and excitement. She had begged her driver to sneak her into the hall, and now she was here, waiting. She prayed Malik wouldn't see her until it was over. She didn't want to distract him. She only wanted to cheer him in silence. The announcer's voice filled the hall. Next participant, Malik Johnson. Malik's legs shook as he walked to the center of the stage. For a moment, he froze under the bright lights. The crowd whispered. Some tilted their heads, surprised at his poor clothes, at his nervous face. "Who is this boy?" someone muttered. "He doesn't belong here," another whispered. Their voices stung Malik's ears. His heart screamed at him to run, to escape. But then, his hand brushed against his pocket, where the folded note still lived. "Don't stop dancing. One day the world will see you." He lifted his head. His fear melted into determination. The music began. At first, his body moved slowly, unsure. His feet tapped nervously against the stage. A few people in the audience chuckled. But then, something shifted. Malik closed his eyes and let the rhythm take him. He imagined the cracked pavement of his street, the laughter of children, the evening sun, and Anna's claps echoing in his ears. His body began to flow. His steps grew sharper, his spins faster. The lights reflected off his sweat, making him shine under the stage. Every movement carried his pain, his hunger, his love for his mother, his longing for freedom. The hall grew silent. Nobody laughed now. He leapt high, spinning in the air before landing with perfect rhythm. He slid across the floor, his arms reaching toward the sky as if he was pulling his dreams down to earth. His feet hit the ground like drums, telling the story of his struggle. The audience leaned forward. Judges exchanged surprised looks. And then came the moment. Malik ended his dance by dropping to his knees, arms wide, tears streaming down his face. The music stopped, but the silence in the hall was louder than any sound. For a heartbeat, nobody moved. And then, the applause began. Soft at first, then louder, then thunderous. People stood, clapping, cheering, whistling. The hall shook with the sound. Malik lifted his head, his eyes wide in disbelief. They weren't laughing at him. They were cheering for him. In the back, Anna stood too, her hands trembling as she clapped with all her strength. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She had always known he had something special, but seeing him on that stage, seeing the entire hall move to tears, proved it. One of the judges stood and shouted into the microphone, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we dance, not to show off, but to touch the soul. This boy is extraordinary." Malik's heart raced. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. He had done it. He had touched the world. But the competition wasn't over. Other dancers came, polished and professional, wearing perfect costumes and shoes. Yet, even as they performed, Malik noticed something. People still whispered about him, their eyes glowing with the memory of his dance. When the results were announced, Malik stood trembling at the side of the stage. His name echoed across the hall. Winner of the City Dance Championship, Malik Johnson. The crowd erupted again. Malik's knees almost gave way. He stumbled forward, tears blurring his vision as the trophy was placed in his hands. It felt heavy, almost unreal. The announcer smiled, raising Malik's arm. From the streets to the stage, this young man is proof that talent can rise from anywhere. Malik scanned the crowd, blinded by lights and faces. And then, he saw her. Anna, standing in the back row, her hood fallen, her face glowing with pride and tears. Their eyes locked across the hall. For a second, it was as if the entire world disappeared. She mouthed two words silently, "I knew." Malik's chest shook with emotion. He lifted the trophy high, not just for himself, but for his mother, for Anna, for every person who had ever told him he wasn't enough. The applause thundered like a storm, but in Malik's heart, one voice was louder than all the rest, the voice that had told him not to stop. And he knew, in that moment, that his life would never be the same again. The lights of the championship hall were still glowing when Malik stepped off the stage, the trophy heavy in his small hands. His heart was racing, his legs shaking, but his soul felt like it was flying. For the first time in his life, he was not just a poor boy from the streets, he was a winner. He was someone the world had finally seen. The crowd was still buzzing with excitement when Malik felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned and froze. It was Anna. Her eyes were shining with tears, her cheeks wet, her hands trembling. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Anna rushed forward and threw her arms around him. Malik stiffened, then slowly hugged her back, his own tears spilling freely. "You did it," she whispered into his ear. I told you one day the world would see you." Malik pulled back, looking into her eyes. His voice broke. "I thought you lied to me, but you never did." Anna shook her head, smiling through her tears. "I never lied, Malik. I believed in you from the first moment I saw you." For a long moment, they stood together, two children from different worlds, yet bound by something stronger than money, stronger than fear. But then, the sound of heavy footsteps filled the air. A tall man in a dark suit approached, followed by security guards. His face was sharp, his presence commanding, the billionaire himself, Anna's father. The crowd hushed. Everyone recognized him. Mr. Harlan, one of the richest and most powerful men in the city. Anna froze, fear flickering in her eyes. Malik's heart sank. He remembered the anger in her father's voice, the rules that had torn them apart. He tightened his grip on the trophy, preparing for the worst. Mr. Harlan's eyes landed on Malik. For a moment, they were cold, unreadable. Then, slowly, his gaze shifted to Anna, her trembling, her tear-streaked face, her desperate grip on Malik's hand. He sighed. "Anna, is this the boy?" Anna's lips trembled. "Yes, father. This is Malik. The boy I told you about. The one I believe in." The room was silent. Everyone was watching. Malik's chest pounded as he waited for the billionaire's judgment. Finally, Mr. Harlan spoke. His voice was deep, steady. "I watched your performance, young man. You danced with more heart than any other on that stage. And you reminded me of something I forgot long ago." Malik blinked, unsure. What do you mean, sir?" Mr. Harlan's eyes softened. "When I was young, I too had a dream. But life and money made me forget it. Tonight, you reminded me that dreams are worth fighting for." He looked at Anna, then back at Malik. "I was wrong to forbid her from seeing you. If anything, I should thank you. You gave my daughter something money never could hope." Gasps rose from the crowd. Anna's mouth fell open. Malik's eyes widened. Mr. Harlan continued, "I want to help you, Malik. I will sponsor your training at the best dance academy in the country. I will also make sure your mother gets the medical care she needs." Malik's trophy almost slipped from his hands. His lips trembled, his body shaking. "Sir, I don't know what to say." Mr. Harlan placed a hand on his shoulder. "Say nothing. Just keep dancing. The world deserves to see you." Tears streamed down Malik's face as he turned to Anna. She was smiling through her own tears, her heart bursting with pride. That night, Malik returned home with more than just a trophy. He came with hope. He rushed into the small room where his mother lay, weak and pale. Gently, he placed the shining trophy beside her bed. "Look, Mama," he whispered, holding her hand. "I did it. We're going to be okay now." His mother's tired eyes filled with tears as she touched the trophy. "I always knew, Malik. Your father would be so proud." Malik cried quietly, his heart finally free of doubt. And in the days that followed, life changed. His mother received treatment. Malik began training in a real studio, wearing real shoes, learning from real teachers. But no matter how bright the future became, he never forgot where it had started, on a cracked pavement, with nothing but broken shoes and a dream. Anna remained by his side, cheering for him at every step. She didn't care about the whispers of others. She didn't care about the rules of money or power. For her, Malik was more than a dancer. He was proof that even in the darkest places, light could rise. One evening, after a long practice, Malik stood on the rooftop of the academy, the city light shining below. Anna stood beside him, the wind brushing their faces. Malik held the old folded note in his hand, the one Anna had dropped long ago. He smiled, his voice soft. "You were right, Anna. One day the world would see me. But before the world saw me, you did." Anna's eyes filled with tears as she whispered back, "And I always will." The city stretched before them, glowing with endless possibilities. The boy who once danced for coins on the street now danced for the world. And he knew this was only the beginning.